Hi Libra. Welcome to June 2025. I think you're gonna like this reading. So just so you know, I was really sick. And if you're thinking, boy, haven't you been sick like a bunch of times? I have. Turns out I had a chronic infection that was related to a tooth. And I've been walking around on the brink of sepsis for years, apparently. So I feel great. Took a minute to recuperate. Here I am. The Magician, first of all, let's look at that by itself for a second. So feeling capable, feeling like you can handle a lot, feeling like you have a lot at your disposal. But here comes this Saturn-Neptune proximity. The closer Saturn gets to Neptune, the more you may find that your skills are more needed by somebody else than they are by you. So you have everything you need. And in this case, it can cause some frustration because I think you are at the point where there's several things that you would like to do just for yourself, but it's frustrating to feel like a confusion in your priorities because the person, if you're with someone or if you're not with them and you love them and they're going through something, regardless of what your relationship, doesn't have to be romantic, is with them, your skills, your resources even, are being pulled upon by someone who really needs them. If you're in any kind of relationship that you would like to strengthen, then this is a perfect time to show up and save the day. But at no small expense to yourself, keep that in mind. If the glory of showing up and being the hero is worth enough to you, you will expend the resources and they will create the desired result. If you want to get closer to someone, not to save the day, but because you really love them and you don't want to see them go through what they're going through, and you know that you can solve it, this is a perfect time for you as well. You can pull them right out of this confusion. You can be the person who gives them a very helpful dose of logic, but also someone who knows enough people that they can get done what they need to and not fall into a hole. Therefore, bringing them, obviously, human nature closer to you, loving you more because they feel so taken care of. If this is someone who isn't doing right by you, if this is someone who isn't giving you the commitment that you want, this is not the time to step up and use your resources for them. They will get the wrong idea, they will use you for them, and you will have nothing to show for it. This is only in situations where you know or believe, as far as you know, that the person that you love, that you're dealing with, that you're friends with, whatever it is, feels that way about you too. And you've felt that reciprocity in their actions and their words and the way that they treat you. This is for them. If you give all of this to someone going through this and they are not doing what you want them to do, it will only be more fuel for them to disrespect you. Excuse me. So just keep that in mind. You can, of course, do it, but it will come to no end. And in fact, make you look quite foolish. Now, in general, this is a very powerful time for you in terms of just finding that very comfortable energy with people where you know and you can tell just from being around them that they really like you. And there's no guesswork, there's no games. It's one of those unique moments that we have throughout the year. This is Lover's season, Gemini season. People are just a lot more communicative and open and vulnerable about how they really feel. Which is ironic, right? Because we usually associate Geminis with not being able to get in touch with their feelings. And it's not that, it's just that we need to say things out loud to know that they exist, which works out well for everybody else in Gemini season. Because people are more than willing to show you how much they care for you, how appreciative they are that you are who you are. That's really big right now. You are seen in a way that's very comfortable, in a way that you like to be seen. I think that's the most important part. Power. We also have an interesting Mars-Uranus transit that we can talk about when we look at the cards. We're going to look at the cards in this reading before the extended. It's about power. It's about that Magician card, you having all those resources that you're on your table there. That's about feeling capable. And you also feel like you're ready for a comeback. Whether you've been single for a long time, or you've been out of things socially, or you've been in a bad situation, or you've just kind of fallen out of popularity, whatever it is that took your power, you feel a resurgence. It's just the beginning of a resurgence now. And it's based on something that you didn't have the first time around. What I mean by the first time around is that first level of success, that first level of the relationship, whatever it was. In the I Ching, it says that comebacks are much more stellar than just finding success, because if you found success, it could be a fluke, it could be luck, it could be, right time, right place that one time. A comeback kind of cements you as having the credentials, as having the moxie to do it. So then people can look retroactively, then take a look at what you've done so far, and then even your initial successes make a lot of sense, because it's like, no, it makes sense because they did it again. Look. Okay. So there's a big dose of energy and fire coming your way, especially until the 17th, because Mars is in Leo until then. And it's perfect because say you're one of these people that's committed and you really love the person you're with and you want to help them. You have all the fire and all the energy to help them. After the 17th, not so much, but until then, go for it. And then what if you're not with someone? What if you're with someone who's not respecting what you want? What if you're single, which to me is the same thing? This gives you all the energy to go out there and Two of Cups, meet someone who sees the authentic you. Excuse me. There's a... There's like this weird cringy thing you do when you like have to be around people. Like the outside Libra. It's like great, and if people don't know you, it's not cringe at all. But when people do know you, it's like, oh my God, you're doing that thing. Why are you using that voice? Like, where'd you go? Are you coming back soon? You don't have that right now, which is amazing. Makes you much, much, much easier to read instead of like bumping up against a metal wall. You just don't have that. I think that's why Geminis and Libras are so compatible. Like, look what this season brings out in you. Look what the Geminis in your life bring out of you. You're past that persona that you put on because you want people to like you. You're past that. It's something else. And whatever is underneath the surface of Libras wanting people to like them is actually really cool. Really cool. But like, you gotta like let yourself go there. And I think perhaps the desire to be liked is much more important than whatever joy that you would experience in that other state, in that deeper state. But also, I don't know if you really enjoy it. It's like fun, but chaos isn't fun for you. Like at some point you need to make order of things, and there's not much order to be made in that like authentic creative self. It's always kind of like a ruckus down there, right? But right now that ruckus is manageable. You feel okay with not knowing exactly what happens next and not being able to plan it and not being able to rely on it, because there is that deeper part of you is the one that's in touch and speaking and looking and doing everything right now, which is so great. I think that's also why it's so easy to meet somebody right now, because I think that you should really think about how much more difficult it is for people to really love you when they encounter that mask and you don't take it off. Most of you take it off, and then it's like the people who know you are like, oh my God, thank God, okay, it's you again. But for those of you who don't even know you're wearing it, maybe a conversation you want to have with yourself. Okay, let's keep going. Let's see. Let me take a quick glance at my notes. Yeah, it's a Mars-Uranus square that's perfected on the 15th. So somewhere between the 15th and the 17th, I believe this is, yeah. Somewhere between the 15th and the 17th, you need a little rest from your ambitions. You need to come to peace with something with a Capricorn. Could be. That Magician, that heavy Sagittarius, Gemini energy right there, that Magician card. But this right here is obviously either your ambition or your ambition personified as the Capricorn who keeps pushing you. But some sort of peaceful resolution is on the horizon, and that's super nice. And it makes sense, right? Because what we're talking about here, this resurgence, this comeback, this energy, this fire, it is very ambitious. And I think it's ambitious after a long period of you, quite frankly, coasting. Of course, so what popped out of the deck is the Sun, and then we have a Tower as the bottom of the deck. Of course, it's chaotic. You know, you are being asked to delve into the realm of your opposite there, of that Aries energy. Of course, it's chaotic, but excuse me, the new life that it brings through for you, for the people around you, it's gorgeous. And you can handle it, most importantly. So I suppose the overall message being that contentment that you're looking for, that you perhaps thought you lost, it requires you to go deeper than the mask and to stay in that vulnerable place and to make decisions from that place and to meet people from that place and see how these cups that you thought were spilled forever stand themselves right back up and start to fill themselves, and you are once again that bitch. Painful, ugly, stings, ow, death, rebirth. You know, there's a lot of pain and letting go implied here that maybe sometimes we breeze over when we get this card. Death, rebirth is not easy. It's a dissolution of self, death of ego. That's big stuff. That mask that I'm talking about, you guys love that fucking mask, bro. You do. You really do. So losing it is not fun. Not fun. But also, you can do it. Magician, first card, the major arcana leading you. Like lights on a dark road all through this reading. It's fine. The Tower and the Sun. You can do this. You just have to... You don't even have to see the persona from what it used to be. You don't have to, go back and kick yourself about who you've been. Forget it. It's fine. You don't have to make excuses. You don't have to sanitize it before you can let go of it. Oof. This shit is so Libra coded. You don't have to do any of that. Just put it in the trash and move forward. No need to go through it. No need to judge yourself by it. Just go. Most of the letting go for you guys is like, in letting it go, you will acknowledge that it was there. That's gonna sting. That's gonna hurt, of course. But you need it. It'll do you so much good. It'll make you an even more interesting person. You're already fucking hella interesting. It'll make you even more interesting. Even more fun to be around, even more brave. You know, because the truth of the matter is, now we're not looking at the cards. Now I'm just talking to you. Ooh! Because the truth of the matter is, man, you've been selling yourself short. So short. Even if you're doing all the things, there is some aspect of your life where you're just not asking for what you're worth. And I think it's because you're so scared that the answer is going to be, no, you're not worth that much, or you're not good enough for that to happen. Whatever it is, it could be career, it could be love, romance. It feels like romance, but it could be any of those things where you're just selling yourself short, and it's you that's doing it. Nobody is doing it to you. It's you that's doing it. And for those of you where that's about money because you're just not charging enough, good times. Great times. Times that make you have to reassess your dreams and say, I gotta dream even bigger now. It's that moment between Tom Hardy and Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Sometimes you must not be afraid to dream a little bigger, darling. It's time to dream bigger. And it's so natural because you start with all this stuff. Hold on, let me show you the cards. 1 second. Hi, isn't this fun? Ah! Okay, so it makes sense, doesn't it? Sorry, it's a little bit messy. This is like what it's like when you get a personal reading. You can get those. There's a link. There's a new link to, there's the same link. You could just talk to me and send me a text instead if you don't want to get a reading. So there's that option. Cameo just came out with it. They just told me about it. Okay, look. It makes sense that the money would flow from the power. And really this conversation is about power. And because you find power through interaction, which is, you know, Aristotelian, he said intelligence is bred through interaction. So you are highly, highly intelligent. And the more you interact with people, the more intelligent you get. And this is a period where you are interacting so authentically with people and you have so little reserve, or you will in June, in a few days, you start to make some really dynamic connections, but also you're feeding off of this energy. And it's a wonderful dynamic energy that makes a lot of sense for you right now. And of course, it will cause some disruption, and you will have some moments where you have to think about your ambitions and how they have to change, not have to, but how they change now. Maybe it's you become more ambitious. Maybe it's your ambitions change. Whatever it is, there is some upheaval here. But that upheaval is just that turning of the soil that then brings forth so much life. And it requires, you know, a fiery hand. It requires immense strength from you, but you're capable of that. And I think personally that you've been waiting for a chance to use it. You know, it's no fun to just sit here in the armor if you never go to war. What this period does for you, I'd say up until about June 17th, what this period does for you, especially this is around June 15th, is it makes you stronger. To me, this looks like self-esteem. It's you pushing the boundaries of what you think you're capable of. And in doing that, and you're doing it naturally because of what's happening here, but in doing that, I think you have some deep realizations about how much you've been cutting yourself short. Or, yeah. You've really been selling yourself short. That's what I meant. It took me a second. I was like, wait, that doesn't sound right. And, you know, whatever that realization is, it's not easy. But also nothing to please get this hung up about. Like when you like see it and you're like, oh my God, I've been so desperado. Just let it go. No need to like rehash and relive everything. This is never is good. This just doesn't do anything good for anybody ever. Even the tower can be positive. Even these motherfuckers falling out of the buildings. Sometimes this card comes up like in this reading today where you're like, yeah, well, it's actually good for you. You know, even this is better for you than this. The sentimentality, the depressive thoughts, the ruminating, the looping in the mind, there's just nothing that comes of it. And I'm definitely talking to myself as well. I just got like a 3-hour lecture about this from my father, who is a Libra. Okay. And what it leaves you with these realizations of how you've been selling yourself short. When you're done with this, could be a minute, doesn't have to be longer than that, you can move on into a new you. But that's why I said this is never easy. This is painful, right? Nature's gross, rebirth is gross, birth is gross, whatever. This is not easy. But it doesn't have to be more than a minute. You can feel it all and accept yourself how you are and let it go and move. And just seamlessly step into a you that loves you even more, that knows you even more, that feels the strength of being able to do even more, that feels like, dare I say, themselves again. And of course, so the money thing, which is how we started, the money thing just makes sense, doesn't it? Because you're cutting out so much dead weight. Oh my God. Don't get stuck. This doesn't happen if you do this. Don't get stuck. Whatever the past is, whatever it was, whatever you were doing, however embarrassed you are, or you're pissed at somebody else, whatever it is, just let it go. Because you don't want to get in the way of all this good stuff. And by ruminating, by hanging on, by holding a grudge, you're going to do that because nothing else in your life is pointing to that. Even if you're just holding a grudge against yourself, even if what this means is that you can't forgive yourself for what you've allowed to happen in the past, just completely let it go. Love yourself enough to forgive yourself. And then you will not get in the way of what seems like quite a lot of good stuff. Fast too, you know? I like that. Okay. So in the extended, I have copious notes here that I still need to go through with you. So in the extended, we're going to do that. And we're going to do a reshuffle for work and health. And we're going to do the movie tarot. Okay. All those links are below. And also, like I said, for personal readings. And tomorrow, we're having a get-together, like an astrology get-together. Okay? Okay, I love you. I'll see you in the extended.